really don't be wanting people to not converse or talk, or when people have tags, because I think our community in NorCal is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we see something, we'll watch, and then because sometimes you don't watch somebody's whole set, but like I'll watch us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the certain few I'll watch.
Yeah, I will watch, and then I'm like, and I don't think any of us take it personal if we're not critical, or we compliment or we say good shit, bro, like or whatever, like. But I wish I had a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
Because that coaching and that camaraderie, man, helps build your set. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps you kind of grounded. And I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
I work so much, you know. But it is what it is, man. But I look for those moments and them times when I'm here for a week and somebody will come up to me like, hey, bro, make sure you layer that. You're killing the joke too fast. Punch, you need to punch it up.
Yeah.
Dig deeper. It's not personal. You don't even believe your joke. That comes from OGs.
Yeah.
And
when you don't believe your joke and they could see it
and
too.
You can see it.
Yeah.
So that's like you're and then when you don't get the response, you're like, man, he's 100% right.
Yeah.
That's why Dell always told me either listen or record because you could see what you're not doing. You know what I mean? And other people see it as well.
It's funny you said it too, because like when I first got here and stuff like that, we're all hanging out and stuff like that. It was great because like, I'd go up and then they'd be like, hey, if you just pause right here, you'll get 2 laughs instead of 1, and they'll be the same hit.
Right.
And then I'll be looking at someone and be like, hey, that's funny, but the funniest part about that joke is this little part that you're not talking about. There's a whole avenue right here that you can go down. And like, you know what? Now I think about it, I never thought about it that way. And I was like, yeah, that iron sharpened iron shit really goes.
Yeah, and then I don't ever want us to not be approachable, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I've had comics where I've been in the back and I love them, and I'm like, bro, here's a little tag, and they look at me sideways like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may not be as good as you, but I can still advise you on something I think is dope.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like I don't, but I think when you're at a certain level of comic, it's like a little pride thing, I guess. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm never gonna be at a point to where I can stop learning or taking advice, especially with what I go through in my life. My contributions to stand up, if I could flip it for my personal life, my family, and my work, I'm blessed to be able to do what I do, but I know that I'm only as good as what I'm putting into it. So why would I have, this give someone kickback for advice?
Yeah.
I need it because I don't have the time. You understand what I mean? Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, how do you break yourself down as far as a comic? And I was like, okay, you know how you have musicians that read music and know every aspect of reading music, right? They can write music. And then you have guys that can just come in and jam and play by ear. That's me.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying, dog? Like, I'm not, as far as the craft goes, I respect the craft. I love the craft. But I don't have the musicianship. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a lot of my peers do. But you give me the opportunity, you put me in there, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I know my downfall. I know where I need to improve at, because a lot of times people tell me, that I mess with, and that's able to help me kind of maneuver because I have that coaching. Because we're learning, right? Every time we get on stage, we're learning.
Yeah.
And sometimes when somebody gives you some wisdom, it kind of helps you avoid it, and I've had that, and which is dope, because I don't ever want people to think, like, even young comics are like, hey man, I felt kind of weird telling you, but I was like, bro, don't ever do that. That's why I try to have rapport with comics.
It's funny because you're saying how like you just go and jam. Like there's been numerous times, because like I'm really bad at recording, and I need to get better at it, recording the set, because like there's numerous times where I'll have some, because you just go up there jamming, having a good time. Because like we were talking about earlier, like I don't have an order of the jokes I do or anything like that. It's kind of like, I'll have 3 things I want to get to.
Right.
And I'm like, here's point A and here's B. I don't know how I'm going to get from A to B. I don't know I don't know anything. I just know, hopefully I get there. Right. And sometimes I never even make it to B. And then I'm having fun. And then there's been numerous times where I had point to a comic or someone be like, hey, remember that for me real quick. Because it's so funny, because you'll say it on stage, but you won't remember it once you get off, because you're having so many thoughts while you're up there.
100%.
Because it's like, people don't understand, like, that drink of the bottle of water, like, that's to calm us down. Because it's like, I've already thought 3 thoughts prior to, and as you guys are laughing at this joke, I'm already 3 steps ahead down the path. But it's a trip to. Oh, I was saying too. Like for the longest time, I didn't even know that you were from Northern California.
Really?
Because I met you through Roger. And I met you through Roger Lazola.
Yeah. Where was we at? Shout out to Roger Lazola. Yeah. That's my guy. The mullet. The Mexican mullet.
Yeah. So,
that's my dude, bro. We've been in some battles together, bro. Like, I did Frisco with him. That's my dude, bro. He's a good cat.
Dude.
But where was we at when I met you through Roger?
I want to say, it had to have been on the road somewhere. It's somewhere on the road because I want to say maybe even Monterey, but it was funny because, well, it's one thing, Roger, so he was supposed to be on the podcast last week or the week before last.
He was here?
Yeah, he was at Laughlin. And I was like, come through the house, man, crash out. As a matter of fact, we'll do the podcast. And he was like, oh, yeah, no, I'll be, okay, cool. Yeah. So he never shows up on Monday. And, you know, he's a grown-ass man. I don't need to check up on him, but I'm just like, yo, and then, you know, just shoot him a text. Hey, man, are you alive? And he was like, yeah, no, I'm alive. I was like, okay, cool. Then that's it. And then, so, like, I don't hear from him or see him. But I go down to Modesto because I got to do Modesto on that following week, and I run into him at the Deaf Puppies Comedy Club, the new comedy club they got going on.
Yeah.
And I go and he comes. I go into the green room like, where were you, bitch? He goes, alcoholic shit, bro. He goes, I got a room and I just drank for 3 days, and that's why I love Roger.
Oh my God,
Roger's a nut,
Roger
man.
can cook too, bro.
Yeah, he cooked. Yeah, he was my roommate for a minute. I gained like hella weight with him, man.
He cook. Cast iron skill food.
Yeah.
That's the best way to cook a steak.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Yeah, no, that's tripped. Because that's the other thing, too. Nobody really knows where I'm from. Like, all the comments in LA is like, you're a mystery.
Yeah.
You just come out of nowhere and, like, you'll be here for, like, a little bit. And then that's just because, you know, I work, bro. Like, I got babies and a bunch of dream killers and shit that I gotta take care of. You know what I'm saying?
How many kids do you have?
Three girls, man.
3 girls.
Yeah, my youngest right now, she's 16. And then my other 2 are done. Well, they're done with college, well, almost done. My middle daughter's almost done with college. But
which one did you guys blow up in viral? Which one was that?
Well, we didn't, not nothing. I mean, we've had a couple videos, but no. Oh, you talking about the one
car.
that got the videos? Oh no, that's Kylie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was me and her driving. You know what's crazy, man? Is like I need to do more of that because that's my lane. I'm a family dude.
Yeah.
The videos that got the most, that I was criticized the most for was my daughter almost drowned a little bit, my dry bar thing. Oh. And that's with Jayla. So when you said that, because that's got 25, 30 million views.
Oh, shit.
It's so weird how if you go down to the comments, he's going to hate this later on in life where I talk about I love her, but I don't like her as a person.
Yeah. Right? I know that joke.
And it's so weird how, and now, because she is a little ass, so she's coming to her own, but, you know, I had to snatch her up one day. And I think she realizes that what I be saying is not pretend, because kids don't realize, especially girls, that you teach them to understand. As far as I'm concerned, I teach my girls to understand that you can't talk to everybody crazy. Because the shit I let you get away with, I would never let a man get away with.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I explain it over and over again. And after a while, it's like, okay, she's me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Which I get, and I love her for that, but there has to be a level of respect. And I want her, I tell her all the time that we're getting kind of off topic with stand-up.
No.
In life, especially for women, young women that don't have someone telling them this, I'm a big proponent of women standing in femininity. And don't get me wrong, you got to voice your opinion, somebody doing you dirty.
Yeah.
But don't disrespect somebody that's providing and loves you. You know what I'm saying? Don't demean a man. Don't emasculate a dude that loves you, because that's all we got. You don't got to pay for shit. I don't give a fuck. But if you love me and you treat me right and you're in your femininity and you don't emasculate me and you show me you give a fuck, I'll give you everything under the sun.
Yeah.
But if you a bitch and bruh, I see all this.
Yeah.
I see all these young girls moving, and I'm like, I tell my daughter, I text them, I'm like, look, I know you see this trifling shit, and sometimes y'all get on your little things and y'all doing what you do, but don't ever forget that if you find a man that respects you, and this dude is doing for you outside of even his wheelhouse, like he don't even got it, but he's trying to make it happen, make sure you respect that dude. Yeah. And I think it kind of goes full circle with us as far as comments, because when I greet people, bro, I greet you like I ain't seen you in a long time, because I genuinely want to leave that with you, and that's how I move. I'm not gonna ever, even if somebody piss me off, I'll give it a moment for us to be on the one before I have a conversation. So it rarely happens, you know. But respect, man, what I teach my kids, and I do the same thing with the comics. Like I try to have that camaraderie and that respect. And
Yeah.
that's all we got.
Well, because like I consider you a good friend in this.
100%.
Yeah, because
I know your Tia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So how did that happen?
Bro, she's so crazy. I was talking about something and I was in line and she heard me say something about the comedy club and she's like, my nephew's is a comic. Just all in my conversation. I was like, what's his name? And he says, Carlos Rodriguez. And I was like, oh, she said it with some authority too. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Tia is
Emma. She's my dad's mom. Okay. My dad's sister.
Right, but yeah. Theo is uncle and Tia is aunt. But then what do they call you?
What is a nephew? What is a nephew in Spanish? Sobrino? Okay, sobrino.
Yeah, I don't know if she said it. I think she just said your name.
Yeah. Shout out to our engineer.
Yeah, thank you, bro. What nationality are you?
Oh, Nicaraguan.
Okay. I thought he was Filipino. But yeah, she's cool, man. Shout out to Auntie, man.
Yeah.
But she loves you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she's proud of you. And she was like, fool, you not no comedian. You know what I mean? And she was just hella cool. And it just shows you how small the world is.
Me and her daughter are born on the same day. We're the same age. It was a trip. Yeah. They were both going to the hospital at the same time. It was a trip. We just because your birthday too. You said Friday. Yeah, it was last Friday. Yeah. And then mine was on Tuesday. Yeah. Yep. And then, but you look good for how old you are because I know you're older than me.
Yeah, I'm 51.
Damn, man, that's great.
I'll be moisturizing. Huh? I got just enough black in me to keep my shit together. Yeah. But internally, I'm falling apart. Like I be fucking like my shoulders. I didn't even do nothing. I slept and woke up. I was like, God damn. I be trying to hold myself up. Fucking. I be shaking.
But because you said that's the one thing was like you said you're from Northern California. I was like, oh shit. And then you said you went to Valley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my brother went to Valley, and then and you didn't you say you went with like Ray Caruth at the time?
Yeah, I was in school with Ray. Ray's good. That's the hardest part too. When you Travis, there's so much. That's why podcast is crazy because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, good dude, and it's unfortunate. That's life. But yeah, I mean, I think, and I also lived in every part of SAC. So like, I was in Del Paso Heights. I was in Oak Park. Like my dad lived in Oak Park. So I come from that. I lived right behind Christian Brothers at Shiloh Arms. It used to be Sacramento Boulevard, then they changed it to MLK, you know, and that runs all the way down. But
right into my continuation high school, American Legion.
American Legion, hilarious. So you've been around everybody too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was around the 33rds. I've been around Bloods, like, you know what I mean? And it's just I've absorbed every part of Sacramento, so I had friends. Like I had Polynesian friends, and then my Polynesian friends would smash on somebody, and I'd be like, I can't do nothing. Like it was my dudes, like you know, Remy and Poggy and all them cats. Man, it's just I've been around so many people, but then the diversity of me is weird too because like Latino people thought I was Latino. But they was like, why are you hanging out with the black people? But they didn't know. So you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always had a little bit of turbulence. But then Latino girls like me because I was a segue to the black. Because I wasn't full black. But like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, well, you know what I mean? I want to dabble. I get this little third black guy, you know. But yeah.
And at that time too, man, it's dangerous. Like that's 90s. That's like late early 90s, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that's like Boys in the Hood era. That's like the real rough.
I have fools pulling up on me strapped over girls, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, this is weird, you know. But SAC, man.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Spam risk. Let's go.
SAC is. That's our spot, bro. That's home. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that you say that you didn't even know. I mean, obviously we got some time, you know, difference as far as starting. Because how long you been doing now? 12, 13?
I came back. I came back in 2007, 2008.
So you had started and you stopped?
Yeah, I started in 90.
Shit! So
90,
you're
98.
You're my OG because I started in 03, 04.
Yeah, 98. I was American Legion, and the teacher fucking snuck me into the old Ironsides.
No shit.
And was like, because I was disrupting the class, and he was like, oh, you know, da, da, da. I was like, I'll go fucking do a bank. I don't give a fuck. I'm hella funny. And I was like, I don't need to write. This is God given. And so I went. He took me, and I ate shit. I ate so much shit. And then I was like, and the thing I told me, he goes, because I was like, can you bring me back? And he was like, wow, you didn't do well. And I was like, yeah, but I learned something. And he goes, like, what'd you learn? And, which is crazy because you say that too, like, because that's exactly how, like the comedic mind. It's like you learn something every time you go up.
100%.
And I go, what I learned was that people are gonna laugh at me for one or two reasons. One or two reasons. One either because I'm funny or 2, to get me to shut the fuck up. And I got to figure out which laugh I'm getting in real life, and then I'm gonna start using that, because people will laugh just to tell you, like, just to shut your ass up, and it's like, and you think you're funny, but you're not. And so started doing that, and then and so I did that for about, and that's how I met Mikey. I met Ray Molina, I met all those cats because we were doing an open mic called Andiamo's.
Yeah.
Over around Folsom Boulevard, and so I did it for like about a year or 2. And then I took off to Europe, and then I got lost in the world, and then I was like, and then I stopped doing stand up, and then that's another thing too. Like, I also understood, I was 16 when I started. I stopped at about 19, and and my thought process was like, I'm doing comedy for all these older people, and nobody wants to listen to what I gotta say because I don't have shit to say. Yeah. So I went off and lived some life, and I came back like 6 to 7 years later.
That's a good story, but that's kind of a testament, like.
Yeah.
And that's real life, because a lot of people struggle with that. With how you think about the makeup of a comedy club. There's not a lot of 21, 22, 23 now on social media. Yeah,
they're now, yeah.
Right? But a makeup of a comedy club, there's that demographic of 27 to whatever. Yeah. Usually it's kind of when people are like, I want to go to a comedy show, and they've got family, and so it's relative, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a 36-year relationship, bro, same chick.
36 years you guys been together?
Yeah, we've been together since 10th grade.
Congratulations.
Well, I don't know. No, I love my wife, bro. She's off the chain. She's a good girl. Like, she has set aside a lot of things for me to move like I move. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever, women come up to me and they even message me sometimes in the DMs, nothing sexual, but they're like, I appreciate that you talk good about your wife, because most people just beat up on their spouses, and they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lane, and they were like, I've had it multiple times with women. It's like, it's so refreshing to see that you love your wife.
Do you have it on your special? Because the one you said, because I went to the taping in the Punchline. Do you have that about the? Sometimes you can't stand the way someone breathes.
Oh yeah.
That's on that special.
Yeah,
okay.
that is. Yeah. Yeah, and I wrote around it because I've heard people say it, but you gotta, you have to incorporate the bit. Because it's a jab, but I didn't realize it. It was really, me and my wife was laying down each other, and she was breathing, and I was like, I didn't tell her, but I was like, fuck, are you sick? Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, what is wrong with you? And then and she kind of laughed. She, once I said, I was like, she's like, you don't want me to breathe, like, you know what I mean? And then it just kind of came into fruition because off of conversation. So then I take it to the stage, and somebody's like, so and so said it. I go, but. And then the girl defended him, like, yeah, but there's layers to it. You know what I'm saying? And then the same with the dreaming and so on and so forth. So it's just a tag. But everybody can relate to it, because you could love the fuck out of somebody, but you're still going to irritate it by a simple thing. That's life, you know? I think if you had a perfect being, where's the challenge?
Yeah.
Everything's great. Oh, she's a magical. She rubs my back. You know what I mean? Like, she tells me she loves me. She makes the right sound when I hit,
You said the thing, which is awesome too, that she facilitates a lot of stuff for you to do and stuff. And and when you find someone like that, that's so dope. Because like right now, I found somebody like that where she understands that comedy is my thing. And then she's like, you know what? I don't need to go over to the comedy club with you every time. I don't need to like act like a manager. I don't need to be in the green room. And I was like, oh shit. And she was like, that's your thing. Do your thing. She was like, when you come home, this is home, and this is what we got to take care of. This is already, everything's set up to a way where we can all function and move smoothly. Yeah. Try to, at least.
That's dope.
Yeah. So it's a good thing that you said that too, that it's like she facilitates so you could do this stuff.
Yeah. She just, I mean, at this point, it's till the wheels fall off. Right? I'm not, it's an intricate part. Like my daughters know, they're like, they say Dad's got comedy tonight. Like, they've always said it. They know before I go, I'm chilling. I don't want to be aggravated. Don't be coming to me with your drawn out ass stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want to embody a good space. I don't want to harbor drama and then go. It's happened. Have you ever been pissed off before you go up?
Yeah.
Something happened and someone drops some shit on you, like, oh really? This is where we're going right now, and then you exude that energy when you at first, because you're still harboring it, and then you once you get your laugh, you get out of it, you know. But still, it sucks.
Yeah.
To be in that space. So.
Shit, for a minute I was in the space like that, and I was writing like that though. Like that was my problem. Was like I was writing, everything was like, you know what I hate, you know what I can't stand. It was just all bitterness, and I was like, oh no, this is not why I did stand up. I did stand up because I was like, you know what's hella funny to me. And you know what's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever thought about this? Well, this is great. Yeah, and because you're saying too about how sometimes when I like, because I know when I do writers some shit like that, like I'll give inanimate objects personalities.
That's
and
dope.
I'll start fucking around and be silly and shit like that. But like you were saying too, how you write from life experience and shit like that, which I like, because within that, it's like one of those like you just listen to good advice, but just listening with good advice with a laugh is even better. Like shit,
yeah. But I think we write to piss people off. We write for uncomfortability. We write to shock. But man, I have. You ever get jokes from just having conversations with random people?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, wait a minute, what did you just say? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, I gotta write that down because there's something there.
Yeah.
Just off of the idea, and that's why I talk to people because there's so much that. You know what I mean? If you could execute and you could put it together and you could perform it, my boy, man, he told me this years ago. I can't think of his name right now, but he was like, Key, he goes, once you get to a point to where your jokes are like you perform, you're going to be a monster. Ty Barnett.
Oh, Ty,
And I was brand new. I was in Seattle. He didn't realize that because I was so comfortable on stage, but he didn't realize I'd only been doing stand-up like a year and a half, 2 years when I did Seattle International Comedy Competition. So he thought I was in it, but I was new, you know, when I moved up there. And but it's something to be said about the performance aspect of what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, and then how we create. Because I love the space of just, I got to get to a point like what you said about writing from the anatomy. Like we were talking about Tony, he just creates. I've never heard him say the same shit twice. Like, you know what I mean? And
Tony Baker is
he's bad, dude.
And then a good dude too on top of that too.
100%.
Yeah.
Tony Baker. I used to have this show, in Dixon or I don't know where it was, but I bring comics up for the weekend to do the show, and at this little rundown hotel that's like abandoned and shit. I'd pull in there. I'd be like, hey man, this is the spot.
Scared.
He's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go check in. He goes, man, there ain't even nobody. So he started calling me pranks. And then my other partner, Alvin Williams, we went. I was like, listen, man. I said, we gotta share a room, but I got a discount because I told him it was a handicap room. So I need you to, when you walk in there with a lamp. And he's so down. This motherfucker's walking in, and I had already told the girl I was gonna do it, right? And she was like, she ran with it too, and I videotaped his ass walking in, and I was trying not to die, bro. He was selling it, and then he gets in, and I come in, and she's like, what's your disability, sir? Do you have a placard, or do you need to park up front? And he was like, stuck, you know what I mean? And I was like, nah, I'm fucking with you. But it was so funny because he's like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? But I love that camaraderie with us, you know, and to have a good time, man. And,
did anybody ever pull something on you at all? Got you?
I don't, bro. You know what? Not really. And I be asking people like, y'all feel like a lot of cats is like, man, you kind of your personality is when we be around you. Sometimes we feel like we shouldn't really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Younger comics like us, we don't, but not really, man. But that's the thing. I'm not around us as much. So when you're not around us, you don't have them experiences. You know. Yeah. And that's the part of it that I think I missed out on too, man, was the ability to, that's why I love going on the road. That's why I love going overseas, because you get to be with people for a week, and there's no reason why you don't get better when you're around that caliber of comedy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even helping. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I don't know. The writing aspect and the creative side of it, man, is for me, bro, is just all about just the moment. You know what I mean?
Well, also too, you're saying something that I because I would take breaks sometimes, because like, you know, people were like, I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna take a week off, or I'm gonna take 2 weeks off because I don't want to do stand up, because all of a sudden I felt like I'm losing myself as not being a person, because I was, I was funny as a person, like you said, hanging out with people and talking and getting bits from people. It's like, yeah, that's like when you were hanging out and talking shit and experiencing and going and talking, having conversations, and it's like, so now I can reference a conversation I had, yada yada yada. Otherwise, if I don't, because like I started getting to the point where I would always get on the road because that was my thing. I was like, oh, I want to be a road comic, because I like traveling. I got into traveling, so my whole thing was like, I don't give a fuck about being famous. I give a fuck about like, can I get the next gig? That's all I care about. And I want to go somewhere else. I want to go somewhere I haven't been yet because I want to go travel and I want to walk the world and I want to see this shit. And then
you end up in Idaho.
Yeah, then you end up in Idaho at a movie theater, and then you're like, and then you take pride in it too. You're like, I'm gonna kill this movie theater.
Yeah. I love sleeping in that hole in that bed.
Yeah.
You ever get that divot where 1,000 people?
Some people in there, yeah. Or that shitty.
The road gig is hilarious. That's so funny.
It's funny because I remember one time a comic told me, it was Mark G. He was like, it was probably something that he heard too, but he was like, they don't pay us to do stand up. They pay us to take shitty car rides. And be on long car rides and stay in shitty hotels. That's what they pay us to do. He goes, comedy is what we love to do.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, man. But I would get to a point where it's like I wouldn't hang out with anybody else other than comics, or I wouldn't hang out with anybody. I would do my set and I would go to my hotel and I'd chill out and I don't do anything. I would just zone out. And then at one point, like depression started hitting because I would be on such a high in comedy and then get off, go straight to my room, and that's it. And I won't talk to nobody. And then, a night after night, like what you do, back when it was like, back when it was Wednesday through Sunday. Then it went to Thursday to, but I started realizing, and then I get off, I go home, and I'd be like, all right, I'm done. My weekend's here. My Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to chill out. I'm not going to do anything. I kind of just want to watch flicks and just relax. I'm home. Then I was like, you know what? I could do this for another day. Wednesday, I got shit to go on. And then I started realizing I haven't talked to anybody. I've talked to people from the stage, but I haven't talked to anybody in 4 or 5 days. And I'm very isolated now. And after a while, it's like, I started getting deeper and deeper and sinking into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. So I'd have to take breaks and go back to be a person again. And like you said, to have conversations with people and then all of a sudden get more just bits. Or I don't go in there to farm it, but I just go in there to be in a conversation, or especially talking. I love talking to people that experience life and older cats. Like I'm the one that when I went to go visit the girlfriend, I'm like, I talk to the parents. I'd be hanging out with the parents. I'm like, yo, so how'd you guys meet? And she's like, get your ass in here. Why are you always coming over and talking to my dad? And I was like, because that motherfucker's interesting.
Your mom's hot. How did he bag her? What the fuck? That's funny. That's interesting, man. Like, I think from a mental health standpoint, I don't think people really think about it. Like with me, I get shitty when I don't do stand-up.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I can tell if I've had too much downtime. Do you understand? Like, there's endorphins and all these things going on that I'm like, man, I need to get it popping. You know what I mean? And then usually it's just based on schedule. But I can't even just being around it. Sometimes I might not even perform, but I got to be around the energy. Yeah. It's just something. But that's interesting that you said that, because you're banging so much, and then you just kind of separate yourself, and then you're like, man, I ain't even talked to a person. Yeah. That's trippy. I've never thought of it like that. Because that's a real thing for a lot of guys.
Yeah. So. Especially because I'm sober too. So it's like, because I've been sober now almost 12 years, I think. And
congrats, man.
So thanks, man. Thanks.
That's what's up.
But it's like then, because like there's nothing after for me anymore. Like there's nothing, like I can hang out and talk shit and hang out with the comics, but then it gets to a point where it's like, all right, now you're telling me the same shit over and over again. Now I got to go. And then and then I would cut, man, and then before I know it, I was like, oh shit. Unless we stick around and talk about comedy. And then on top of that too, if I bring my feature on the road, I'm like, yo man, I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna go check out this town. You want to come through? They're like, nah, we're good. I'm gonna crash out. And I was like, all right, well then I'm gonna go be alone again, walking around and listening to an album.
Bro, I enjoy stuff though. Like last night, I left the club and took pictures of people, and I just started walking on the strip. You know what I mean? Like I hit up Tacos El Gordo real quick, and then I ended up at the Wynn, and because I like to see, you know what I mean? So it's funny that you're talking about sobriety. Like, I didn't even know, because I never seen you do anything. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like weird, like at whatever level people are challenged with sobriety. And I think sometimes when people say congratulations, like, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because now you kind of brought it up, like you start talking about sobriety, because in the comedy game, it's a big deal. Like people really struggle with substance abuse, dog.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, but what was a turning point for you, bro? Like, what happened that made you say, "Hey, I got to get my shit together. I got to stop drinking"?
I started calling into gigs and not doing gigs. It was a big thing. I was like, because I love doing this, you know. So my bottom was, you know, people are always like, "Oh, what's your bottom?" I mean, I think people like, "Hey, were you in prison and this and that?" It's like, it didn't get there yet, but it could have got there. But I realized my bottom was a spiritual one, man. I was not spiritually fulfilled at all, and I was very upset and sad. And then I remember watching Bernie Mac. I was on like a 4-day bender. I was doing all kind of blow, and I would do blow just so I could drink more.
Right.
And so I was doing
because it takes you off of it, right?
Yeah. And then I was watching Bernie Mac's documentary that his daughter made for him. The I Ain't Scared of You Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I was all fucked up. I was all drunk, and I was like, you know, because I mean, you've had a set like that. Like we've all experienced a set where we're fucking killing, and it's like, oh shit. You've had a set where you probably killed so much that you got off, and you don't. It's kind of like what the fuck just happened? Like I don't even remember how that led into that and how that got to there. But then I was
like,
real? Yeah. It's like, and it's funny because it's like people might think like, oh, y'all ain't had a set like Bernie Mac. It's like you don't understand. Like it's possible. Like it does. You hit that euphoria of a boom, 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 everything, and you get to a point where you're not making jokes anymore. You're making facial expressions killing. It's gestures, it's movements, it's a bunch of fucking and that's killing. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I go, and so, you know, and I always tell people like, because I went to a continuation high school, and then I didn't get to, they kicked me out of that. I had to go to like a homeschool out in a different district.
All the makings of a great comic.
Yeah.
Continuation, cocaine, alcohol.
Yeah.
Carlos motherfucking Rodriguez.
We were homeless, and then
That's hilarious.
And so
you got to go through that shit to be here, though, bro. That's life. You wouldn't be great if you didn't. It's unfortunate, and it's not something I want motherfuckers just to go out and feel like they got to do. Oh, I got to do coke and get drunk and go to continuation school at 35. you understand?
Yeah.
To make it, but that's your story, bro.
That's just my story.
Embrace it, and now you're winning because you've had it.
Yeah.
You know, that's your path. That's what's up.
And that's why I always try to tell people too, because like I said, I didn't go to high school, so I don't know what it's like, and I didn't play any sports at all. Because I didn't go to high schools. So, like, I always tell people, like, so, you know, you might have played something, so you can contextualize what it is when, you know, when a basketball game on TV, they score a bucket and the whole audience screams.
Right.
Or even a movie that you know what it feels like to go to a homecoming. I don't know what that feels like.
Right.
And I go, but I know exactly what that feels like. And not a lot of people know what that feels like. And then I got all excited. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm like, you know, you get drunk, you get feeling more. I was like, I do this shit. I do that. I was all fucking, And then I realized, I don't do that no more. I do this now. I drink, I do blow in the closet so no one sees me.
Like that happened?
Just right there, just hit. And then I was like, fuck, I go, man. And then I remember like going to lay down. I remember stopping right then and there, going and laying down. And I was like asking God. And I don't believe in God at the time. And I was like, oh man, please God, I need help. And then I remember like, and there's no voice. And I always explain it. It felt like the Force. Like I had the answer. As soon as I asked, I had the answer. Like I knew where to go. Like all of a sudden, then I was like, I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and I went straight to a meeting. And then I did my first meeting and shit like that. And then like 2 days later, I met my sponsor, and then he was from Stockton, and he didn't play. And I was like, I'll probably have him on one day.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah,
I had no idea. Like I didn't know, because it's just like, you masked it. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even Jenny was saying, she was like, I've never seen you that. And I was like, yeah, because like, I never needed a drink to go on stage. Like, I never needed none of that to calm my nerve. Like, being in the comic club, it's almost as if like a functional drunk, you know, a guy that could be drunk as fucking go to work. And then, so it's like, I do all my fucking skeevy shit away from where I want to be, you know, hanging out, or where I like and where I'm happy at.
Yeah.
So it was weird that's how that worked, because alcohol, like that shit, your demon works in mysterious ways. You know, I'm like,
I'm never, bro, as much people will rally together and think that I've done it. I've never done a line of coke. Yeah. I've probably been high off weed maybe 10 times in my life. I do drink. I drink socially. When we get together and we do shows, I'll have a beverage or something like that, but I don't get intoxicated.
Yeah.
I'm just shitty. Do you understand? But
yeah,
here's the thing. we're still poisoning ourselves. At whatever level you think or you try to justify, it's like me saying, I don't do this. You're still putting something in your body that has an allergic fucking reaction.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I think for comics, bro, like, we sell liquor. People, let's party. How many times you been like, everybody fucked up? Rah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take
So
a
it comes
shot.
with the environment, but the responsibility, I think, is still mastering your craft and doing your job.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Can you function, you know? And sometimes people are like, you want a water key? Because they don't even, I won't drink, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll drink, but I'm just not at this craziness. You understand what I'm saying? And but I don't hate and even in LA, bro, like people have been around me and they're doing a line, and I'm like, no, and they look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. You do you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be a parrot on your shoulder telling you, don't do the crack. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't surround myself and I'll bounce because that's when the turn up ends for me. But I'm not critical. I'm not gonna rat nobody out, but that's just not me.
Yeah.
Because I've always had this mindset: the first time is the worst time. If I do that line of coke, what the fuck is gonna happen to me? It might be over.
Yeah.
And that responsibility of my children and my wife, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? And that's what and it talks about life. Like, stand up was your act right, right? Stand up was a thing that said, "Hey man, I fucking love this." Bernie, motherfucking son of a... And he made... Think about that. Think about how just watching Bernie ain't even with us.
No, he wouldn't even was.
And he changed your life in some degree, right?
Yeah,
Think about how powerful that is, bro.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't even realize that you're telling this story right now, and we're consumed by the alcohol, but Bernie said something and was that gifted to make you know and touch you to a point to where you got your shit together.
I never looked at it that way. That's actually crazy.
Do you understand what I'm saying, bro? Like, how...
That's crazy. Like the beginning of the movie is like, so this is how this movie starts.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac saved my life.
But you missed the full on ingredients because it took you, but it took you to realize that I love this shit and I'm gonna fuck it off. Right?
Yeah.
By doing something that you know, and it's very interesting, bro. Like I hate that I don't have them stories sometimes, but I'm blessed that I don't have those stories.
No, you don't really want.
Do you understand what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
Like, because I think I've lived around it. I've been exposed to it. I've been around drug addicts. People died for me to be here. Do you understand? Like, I had to watch motherfuckers poison themselves, not intentionally.
Yeah.
They were addicts, right? Uncles and cousins and shit. But I had to have those experiences to know that, hey, I'm not doing it. I had to see that tragedy. I've seen people laid down. I've seen people killed. You think I don't have a sense of knowing that when I'm around some shit or my antennas don't pop up because I seen somebody get murdered?
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So I move briskly. I'm still cautious. And you know what I'm saying? I'm always paying attention, and I don't let nobody get in my space. And but my story is different. But man, for you to talk about that, bro, is super dope, man. Because people need to hear that. I don't know. Have you talked about on the podcast?
I think I may have said it a couple times.
That's deep as shit. We need to hear you. It's all about us being funny all the time, bro. But I think people are interested in knowing
on the background of it all.
People got their own shit, you know, that they struggle with. My temper has always been, man, my whole life, I've lost every job I've ever had, bro, from adolescence and shit to an adult. It's been around allowing somebody else's ignorance to influence my own. That's been my demon because I have a bad temper. Yeah. And that's why I'm in a space of, I love comedy so much because we here to be around good energy, and usually people are happy. Do you understand? But when you're around people that are ignorant and you're responsive, there's a trigger for some shit. And we supposed to be able to say, okay, calm the fuck down. Don't let somebody else fucking get you riled up. But your body just does it. It's like somebody putting a finger in your chest, right? So I've dealt with that. And no one would ever think of it because I'm usually pretty chill. But that's because I put myself in front of people, around people that aren't doing that shit, even where I live at. You know, if I'm somewhere and shit, like yesterday I'm walking down the street and this dude, I said, what's good with you, man? He said, what the fuck is good with you? And I was like, I looked at him, I said, young man. I said, what's wrong, bro? Like, I asked him, I was like, he's like, but you said, what's good? I said, yeah, what's good? Like, how are you? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not, you know, he goes, oh, I was like, and he's young. Yeah. He doesn't even know how to speak. Like, he doesn't know the jab. Like, nah. And it was just disheartening. So I'll stop people now. And I'll be like, anywhere I go, the lady this morning that was taking care of my room, I said, hi. When I came out of the door, she saw, I'm here she could tell she was down. And I was like, I don't even like your energy. You better smile. Do you understand? Because what happens is, dog, is if I watch her energy, that I'm gonna carry that.
Yeah.
It's like that movie where the people used to touch and then the demon would go into you.
Fallen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that type of shit, bro. So if I don't allow myself to get in a space, just like drugs. Like you know that you 12 years, you good now. Right?
Yeah, I know.
So
you
don't even give a fuck, but you know that you're not gonna put yourself in a position to where you can fall weak to the bullshit. And that's what I do with my temperament. I will, as soon as I see somebody saying something, or I can see bad energy, I'll get away from them. And I'm also, I play this hero role where I can't let people get shit on. And that's another thing that I've struggled with because I've gotten myself into trouble helping someone, which I can't help. If someone, put it like this, if we're somewhere and somebody say something to you, I got your front, bro. I'm not gonna never let you have to swing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because that's how I was raised. I was around my OGs like that. So
that's so funny.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Like I would never, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Sometimes it ain't really nothing going on. This person can't figure out, and I'm already there. Like, who the fuck is you talking? But in my younger years, I've grown up now. But I'm saying, even at this age right now, there's certain triggers. Sam's the same way. We know we have this in
Sam
us.
Bam.
Yeah. Sam's the same way. So we know we have this in us. And we have to, our whole life has been a battle of trying to maintain our temperament, man, and our attitude because we're filled with love.
Yeah.
You know, but that's something I know if I'm reactive and I'm fucking, someone says something, most of the time it's around race because people don't know what the fuck I am. And they'll drop these niggas out there like, and they have no idea that my father's a black man. I am what my father is. I was not raised by my mom. Shout out to white people, but y'all wasn't there for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a demon that I've carried animosity, even though my dad never said, hey, fuck white people, but I carried that because I was like, why? So when someone that was white would see me, they wouldn't know that I was black, and they would say something fucked up. I was like, who the fuck, you know what I mean? And I was reactive, and that was my demon, man, emotional intelligence and dealing with the temperament. And man, it's been a journey, bro, because I lost a 14-year career because I allowed somebody to say something stupid to me and put his body on me, and I faded him. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know how much money I lost? So it's very important for us to share and embellish our truths, man, because other people learn from it. You know, I'm gonna tell you, the coldest piece is don't allow somebody else's ignorance to influence your own. It's easy to say that shit, but if you put that shit to work, bro, if you can figure it out, because as soon as somebody say something to you, man, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. Like, you know what I mean? It's in you. But that can't be, and I hope somebody out there trying to test me, they're like, "Oh, fucking Key, I want to see."
No. It's like,
I'm beyond it now. I'm at a space now where I can control it. But for a long time, man, it was an issue, and the comedy kind of really helped me get out of that. Like comedy was my thing where it was more joy. Because I get so angry, bro, my chest hurts. Do you understand? And it takes me, it's so stressful. It takes me hours to come off of it.
To come down to not let it fucking live in your head.
But the joy we get from comedy, bro, and the energy and the love and the laughter, that's so much healing for me, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Because all the pain and all the anger that I have, I exude and with joy and laughter, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because my father was reactive. My father was angry. Then I was like, remember that joke that fucking what's name did about his dog? One of the greatest of all time, Bill Burr. And he said, he's like, "Rrr!" And the dog that was a thing. I was like, you're around a bunch of motherfuckers that's rrr. They're gonna rrr. And my daughter is the same way. So Jayla's used to me responding, and she's my little rrr. Because she's seen me do it. And she would just flash. And now she's struggling with it. And my oldest daughter, the same thing. They got that sting. I see it in them. Because when somebody says something stupid, but they've seen me get better, and then I've told them, it's like me being a fucking hypocrite. Don't do that. But then I'm like, fuck you, bitch. You understand? So everybody got a demon, bro. But I love you, man, for sharing that shit. And because it's personal, and sometimes some people make it embarrassing.
No,
But you embody it, and you fucking
because you get to own it. I mean, I own it, and it's like you were saying too. Like that's the thing, which is one of the principles that I learned. It's like you're talking about mastering the emotional intelligence. It's hard because it's worth value. Anything that's worth the value is hard. If it was easy, then everybody'd be doing it. And like when I first got into the program too, another principle was what you're talking about too is the whole the reactiveness. Now like my problem was too is I react, and I want to say it's crazy because like we grew up in the same area, and it's funny because it's 10 years apart though, but it's still because it doesn't matter. A South Sac
shit changed,
and it's like
you was just eating different candy. At a different time. You know what I mean?
It was a trip because
Same
I would get that. I like when I came into comedy, that kind of flipped me out because I'm like, yo, these these motherfuckers don't have nobody's back. Like they don't got the same morals that I come from. And I remember being in Dimple Records over on Arden, and I was like, this one dude was like, he was in the middle of the aisle, and I walked by him, and he was like, excuse me, and I was like, what the fuck you mean, excuse me? You taking up the whole aisle? You know, what the fuck's what's your problem?
Right.
And then I was like, he's like, he don't know, but I got boys with me right now. And then I was like, so fuck this dude and his friends. And then I thought it dawned on me. No, I don't have my boys on me. I have 2 comics that I came to this. These guys ain't with it.
They're gonna break out their composition book.
But the thing too, like I was to say about the reaction and stuff like that. So one of the principles that I learned when I first started getting some of my sponsor was teaching me too. He was like, he said, when you respond and react, he goes, that's the thing we're gonna talk about today. Respond and react. And he goes, so when you're the word respond is positive and the word react is negative, because when in medical senses, you know, hey, your body's not reacting to the medication, we have to up the dosage.
That's right.
And it's like if it's doing well, so it's responding well, we're gonna have to lower the dosage. So the response is a step back in thinking, and it's not using your emotion. The reaction is emotion.
Right.
He said, so you know, I don't live in a world no more where it's like fuck me, no fuck you. I live in the world when someone says fuck you to me, I'm like, oh, that sucks. That sucks for you, that you have to be that angry, that upset with me. Because no one, like, I understand that now, you know, the best response for stuff now is no response at all, which is crazy when you grow up to.
That's so powerful, bro.
Yeah. Like the whole thing, like you said too, about the whole 14 years and it's like, if I'd have took like 1 second, I mean, how the world works out and how the thing is, it's fine. But it's like, yeah, no, I have to step back and think like, you know what? He's got the problem. That's his shit. I don't need to make it my problem. I don't need to exchange. He always says, my sponsor always says this: don't ever exchange your good life for someone else's shitty one. Don't do that.
It's not your fault that this is some shit. Me and my wife. So Sunday night we went to Pier 39, right? Because my stepmom passed away Friday. And I was kind of like, it was just, I was aching because I loved her. She's a good lady. And we went ate, and as we were going to go eat, there was this I don't know how you say it, but he looked like he was homeless, but he also looked like he was a veteran, right? And because he had his jacket on and stuff, and this bus is going by, and it's a party bus, and everybody's all, gas, brake, dip. It's just something to say. And the dude's like, let me see your grill. And I was laughing, and then this dude's he just starts blurting out, fuck you niggers. I killed 4 niggers in Vietnam and 20 gooks.
Jesus.
And I was like, I stopped, right? And there was a time, and this is how I know I'm growing. When I heard him say, fuck niggers, I killed 4 niggers in Vietnam and 20 gooks. There was a time when I would have heard somebody say that was white, and I'd have just went. Do you understand what I mean? Without even nothing.
Just went.
But I said to him, it hurt me so bad, because if it was true, there's no blacks in Vietnam. That means 4 soldiers died at the. And then I asked him, I said, man, why would you say that? He goes, that's what I fucking did. And I said, why? Because my fucking sergeant told me to do it. And I'm like, if this is true, bro, there's 4 black men that went to Vietnam to fight for this country that lost their lives, and their families don't even know. Do you understand? That's what I thought about. I was in that. The emotional, it just came over the top of me. And don't get me wrong, if he killed all these Asian people, Vietnamese people too, that's horrible too in itself. But I'm a veteran, dog. And then just for him to say it, and then for him to be so evasive and so angry. And I think there was a mental thing there, bro. But it was also, my wife said, just come on. And I was like, I had to ask him, bro, like, why? And he kept repeating it. And I was like, man, I'm so much better. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that moment, I knew he wasn't right, bro, but God, I hope it was farce.
Yeah, that it was just
I hope it wasn't true, bro, because I started thinking about the layers of it. It's just like how we write. Like, I told you earlier.
As soon as you said it, I was like, wait, why 4 black people in the...
Yes, like, four. And I was like, and it's paining me a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm glad that I was able to not let it kill my heart, but it still stayed with me, right? But man, I'm also proud of myself that I didn't allow myself to fall into that ignorance. And that, you understand what I mean? Because, man, I'm going to tell you, man, so many great people have lost their lives, not lost their lives by dying, but been incarcerated because they let someone else's shit
get in. Yeah, get
good
on
people,
them.
bro. You know what I mean? Protecting their girl when their girl is a little too loose with her lips and she's too flat. You know,
yeah.
You know, you got women that do that shit too, but and get people drawn in. But man, emotional intelligence is so powerful, bro. Like, that's why when I say shit and people come up to me because I got this bitch I'm talking about fuselage, and we all know fuselage is from a plane. It's the wreckage from a plane. But I was talking about a ceiling fan in my stepmom's big toe because she's tall. And she lost her big toe in a ceiling fan accident. And I said, the fuselage from the ceiling fan came. I was like, bitch, it's flying. It's like fuselage. And this person called me out on it. There's like, a fuselage is from I was like, I know, motherfucker. But you understand? But ignorance is like you want people around you that will correct you. And the coaching from my father. And that was another thing. When my dad passed, he was my acolyte. But I had to learn a lot of this shit through lessons personally, you know. And I'll be willing to tell you, bro, I probably lost $1 million in stock options and 401 if I had finished and retired. And that's, don't get me wrong, $1 million ain't like what it used to be, you know what I'm saying? But to have it is better than not to have it. And that was the lesson. Like, okay, look, now you're fucking up your future, you're fucking up your family, you're fucking up, just like when you said you had that awakening with Bernie. Something has to be the turning point. So everybody got a story, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my temper was my downfall. It was my, so anyways, I mean, that's dope, bro. That's very interesting, man.
Same here. That's great that you're to be open about the, you know, letting the emotion take over and then fucking, you know, like you said, like you don't see straight. You don't think that's the 3 or 4 steps later. Yeah. Like I can't watch Cops. My brother used to love watching Cops. And I was like, he's like, why don't you like watch this? I was like, because these motherfuckers got to go to court. Then they got, how they going to get to court? These motherfuckers ain't got no car now. They got to, these motherfuckers got to catch a bus.
That is so funny. Because you're like breaking down all the bullshit that comes with that's so, you were getting stressed out.
Oh, dude, I get stressed. I'm stressed out right now. I'm grabbing my hands. I'm like.
I didn't watch Cops because I knew the backstory. I knew what was on the back. I knew what was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Because I've been there. I hate it when you fuck up and you got to pay.
You got to do work project? I was like, work project, and then the good time. And then it was funny
ankle bracelet.
Shit.
You got ankle bracelet?
I didn't get an ankle bracelet. I got
just me.
I had to do the work. I had to do the work project, and then they were like, because that was the thing too. It was $40 a night if you're in jail. They charge you $40 a night. You have to pay it on restitution later on. I know that's about in Sacramento County. Oh, that was another thing too. That was another thing too. There was a Netflix show for a season, and it was called Jailbirds, and it was all about people in Sacramento County.
No shit.
It's you can go find it right now.
It's rough.
But
over there.
My brother was like, you got to watch it. I go, I don't want to be there because in essence you're putting yourself in jail. You're watching this, and I was like, I'm good, man.
It's sad. It's sad. You know what's trippy though is one thing is I never medicated. Like I had this conversation the other day because the world just started really caring about to me because my father's bipolar. Right?
Okay.
So to me, the world still just really start dialing in mental health and how your life as a child impacts your adulthood and
all the way through.
All these things stay with you. You know what I'm saying? It's and then you know there's the warrior trait, which is a real thing. There's guys that are killers. There's guys that have intellect. There's guys that are the calm. It's in you.
Yeah.
It's just like your fucking mole. It's in you. Like it's and how well you manage it and and you control it is a real thing. So people that are incarcerated have done fucking horrible things. It's psychological. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's bigger, bro. It's just trying to get a grasp on it. And it's just weird how until it impacts certain fucking classes of people, did nobody give a fuck. But now all of a sudden it's an epidemic. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. But I don't know, bro.
I seen this TikTok about this lady who was talking about how she goes, when I look at my kids, she was, I heard this the other day and it really tripped me out. She goes, I look at my kids and I'm like, oh my God, at their age, the things I was doing, I was way more mature than what my kids are right now. Right. And I thought in my head too, I was like, oh yeah, I was riding the bus. I was fucking going all over the place. That I'm about 12 years old, I'm 10 years old. I'm running around downtown all over fucking around. And I go, it wasn't even street lights type of shit. But, and then, you know, taking care of business and running around. And she was like, she said, because we had to be mature because our parents were, you know, and the things we had to go through, poverty and yada, yada, yada. And she was like, our kids get to be kids when they can be kids. And we didn't get to be. And I was like, fuck, that blew my brain too. I was like, dude, I don't remember because I remember being really like later on, like now looking back, I remember having these sad thoughts about not being able to take a break. And I was having these thoughts like around 12 years old, 13 years old. I'm like, when do we get to take a break? Like I hear about winter break and I hear about all this stuff in vacation because we don't get to go vacations. My parents, we don't go on vacation. We stay here. We're in Sacramento.
Bro, check this shit out. I knew how to cook crack before I went to Disneyland.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just thought about that right now. Like I knew how to do all of that shit before I was actually a child. Where I was. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bus passes, bikes,
food banks.
I mean, I did all of that shit. That's why I talk to my girls, which I'm glad that they don't have to experience that shit.
Yeah.
And that's our story. Especially Sac, where we're so diverse. Like, we're so, like, you know what I mean? Like it's everybody, but it's so crazy that the times have changed. And sometimes I think about, man, I'm ruining my child because I'm not allowing them, but I don't want them to have to experience that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to have to be at court at 17 years old saying you witnessed somebody get stabbed to death or do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't want that for them, bro. Like
it's so funny. We had this conversation one time about I was talking to Jenny from Laughs, the owner of Laughs Unlimited, you know, and she goes, you always tell me, because you're saying right now, you know what I'm saying, and I'm like, yeah, I do know what you're saying.
You do know.
But Jenny don't know. Every time I was like, you don't know what I'm talking about? She was like, no, I never had a gun pulled on me. I'm like, you never had a gun pulled on me. It blew my ear. I was like, yeah, I had a gun pulled on me the first time. I was at least 11, and I was like, I remember one time I was gonna get got, like, and I was gonna get. My dad gave me a watch, right? And I didn't want to give it up. And the dude was like, he had the gun out, and he was like, "You better give me this watch." And I was like, "Nah, man." I threw my hand behind my back, and I think about it now. I was like, "Damn, I was about to get shot over a watch that probably my dad fucking got off some fucking tweaker he was selling shit to." And I'm like, "What an idiot."
That's funny.
But it's a trip, man. Especially like you said, because people really don't know too much about Sacramento and whatnot. But like in that time frame, in that area, it was. Like you said, too, also, it was voted like most diverse at one point, you know?
100%.
And so it was crazy because, like, at that time, shit was popping off all over the place. And then you're also kicking it with everybody, like you said, too. Like, that was another thing, too. Like, I got to go from crew to crew to crew to crew to crew and hang out. Because, for one, I was funny. And then two, we kept moving everywhere. Like, I was living in G Parkway, which is not a very good neighborhood. So
I was in the Deers. I grew up right off.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right around the corner. So I was in all my boys in the P. I went to Valley. And then I jump across to Detroit. Leon Peoples, all my boys, Steve,
6900.
Yeah. So I was over there, you know, and then I was around all of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that was my OGs, they knew I was funny even as I was younger, and they didn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
So they was custodians for making sure that, hey man, we don't want you to do this, bro. And I kind of like. My dad is the one that really beat the shit out of me and beat it out of me because I was buying weed from the same motherfucker he was buying weed. And he saw my weed and thought it was his weed.
He's like, nah,
my weed,
this is
motherfucker. You know what I mean? He had zips and QPs and pounds, but it was shake. It was bullshit weed. And the other dude was his boy, which is fucked up. That OG is selling weed to his fucking boy's son.
Yeah.
Right?
The pretendos.
And then one of my other partners, man, his mom washed a bunch of weed and shit, and we got a little crazy about spending money, and then we stopped because I was like, well, and my dad beat my ass so bad that I didn't even want to smell weed.
Oh yeah.
When he found it and shit, and that was the turning point. So
yeah,
necessary evil, man. My dad, I love him, man. I knew I was my father's son to the point to where he never wanted nobody to disrespect me. If you get in a fight, don't come home with your ass beat. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't stop until you figure out how to fuck this. You know that he didn't say it in so many words, but big on academics, school. He wanted to make sure I was in class. I wasn't fucking around, but he definitely didn't want me doing shit that was illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't toss a ball with me. He wasn't that type of dad. But he was the discipline and the necessary evil I needed to be able to sit with you right now at this studio and have this moment. And that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love that dude for that, man. So I don't know. We could talk for 10 days, but I'm motivated, bro, today by this because nobody's alone, man. Everybody got something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They going through, and then our pain and our struggles and our experiences allows us to be in a space where we can get in front of a motherfucking room of people that don't know nothing about us, but they feel it. They know. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's authentic.
And I love it because I'm not lying. And I love them quiet. You notice sometimes I get on one where I'll be talking about some shit that's real.
Yeah.
And then I pull you out of it with like, you know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. I love doing that. Like, some people are like, man, how can you sit in that silence? I couldn't do it 15 years ago because it was uncomfortable. But now when they're listening, we're winning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's your experience. Man, from a philosophy standpoint and a life experience, what better motherfucker to tell somebody about drinking
than a fucking ex-drinker.
Somebody,
yeah.
right? You know what I mean? I never knew you did a line of cocaine. You know,
yeah.
I didn't know because you embodied it and you covered it up so well, and you was always a gentleman. You know, you've been a good dude, and so anyways.
And like you said too, like earlier you were talking about how like I don't judge anybody that does it or that's in there that they're doing the thing. It's like, hey man, you can do it. But I can't because I have a problem.
Tell them. I will tell you. I think that there's a better space for you. I'm not sitting here trying to preach to you, but bro, like, you know what I mean? Think about this.
Yeah.
You know, I do that, and I probably have lost friends because I've been honest with them about their sobriety.
Yeah.
You know, and people that I love, I generally love being around. I've been around comics, bro, that I love, and I know they just went and did a line so they can get their shit together to get on stage. Do you understand? Because it pulls you back, right? They're stumbling and shit. All of a sudden, they go to the bathroom, and they come back out, and they're ready to go. They do a flawless set.
Firing all cylinders.
I was like, what the fuck? But then their dick don't work later on that
night. And they got a shit because they got too much cut.
So I know all the side effects and shit, but I would never shit on my fellow comics because I know that's their experience. But the saddest thing for me, bro, was when that shit popped off with the comics where they was getting high and they had.
They all died.
They all died. So it was
Jack's boys.
Yeah. But we don't even got to mention their names. But the travesty in that whole situation is anybody. I wouldn't have because I know better. But man, just think about the conversation that could have been had. Like, hey man, do you understand?
Yeah.
It was life changing, and you're already in that space. If you're doing it, or what if it was the first time? What if they never done it before? Like, that's the lesson in this shit about drugs, bro. Because motherfuckers is putting, what is it?
That's fentanyl.
Fentanyl and all this shit, bro. Like, I mean, if anything you get from me, man, is know that you control your sobriety, you control all of these things, and use better choices, man, because this motherfucker's dying out here, bro, and you could have sat at my show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want that, so... Yeah, man, I don't know. That's very interesting, man. Super good talk.
Right on, man. Yeah. What you got? Like you said, we talk for 10 more days, but when we get you back, when you come back.
Yeah, man, we got it. There's so much that I think it's, this organic, we're talking.
Yeah.
But there's so many things, man, to talk about and so many gems we could drop on people, especially our group of, our comics. I think it's one mic, right? Like we go up there and we don't usually have people behind us telling us punch us while we're performing, but we got to have camaraderie because we're worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when we talk the stories about people mentoring us and they do it like, kind of off the wall and it ends up being 10 years of animosity over something that was so fucking simple, we got to be better than that because that's time that we could have been better or
utilized
joint
way
shit
better
together or fucking moved and, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fucking laugh at yourself. Like I used to be like that. I used to be like when somebody would talk shit about me, I had to learn how to, because it was with that anger shit. I was defensive. How the fuck you gonna be a defensive comic? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta laugh. So that's what it taught me. It's so many valuable teachings in stand up, bro.
That's so
like
funny.
To be a better man,
I couldn't handle hecklers when I first started because it was disrespectful as fuck. I could like when I first I was like, what the fuck you say? And like it was a bunch of like, hey man,
see the trigger.
Yeah. When I first started, I was like, dog, I was like, why are you talking to me right now? I'm trying to do this joke and you're fucking talking, man.
Fucking up my flow. I live for it. I was always ready. I was writing. I always have women. It's always girls. Like, oh my God, why are you talking about a hermit crab? I was like, shut up, drunk bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's always women, never dudes, always been girls. Like, and I just a handful over over the years.
Mostly is. Yeah, it's always
it's girls, drunk women.
Drunk women.
Just,
that's not true.
They hear a part of it because I said something about my wife, and they're like, "You're such a." She said, "This is the first time I heard somebody say narcissist," and I was like, "What did you just say, bitch? I don't even know what that means."
But I'm gonna take it a disrespect.
I'm not an architect. Like I was just, you know what I mean? That's not my.
I ain't no snitch.
Yeah, I was like, so, you know, it's funny though, but that was something you dealt with. But we all deal with something, you know. I live for it. I write for it. I'm just waiting for one day for somebody to say, I got something on tap. Like, I'll blow your ass up.
Well, now it's easy. Now it's like it just depends on the mood I'm in. Like, do I want...
People see your confidence, bro.
Yeah.
They're not going to fuck with you because they're like, if he's this good, he's going to light our asses up.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, you know, even like people in real life, like people that start fucking with me talking shit, I'm like, dude, why would you want to play basketball with a fucking pro? Like, like I'll get in that ass.
And I got the mic, bitch.
Yeah.
You want to do this?
Stupid ass bitch.
I like the intellectual where they let the person bury themselves.
Yeah.
You just let them start talking, and then you just start hearing this rambling, and then you're like,
Brought a dude on stage last week.
Oh no shit.
Because he kept asking. He was like Mike Tyson. I was like, what? What about what? And he was like Mike Tyson. And I go, what the fuck? So what? He was like, talk about Mike Tyson. I was like, this ain't a playlist. This ain't your. I was like, here, you want to talk about Mike Tyson? Get up here. Come on. And his boys were like,
playlist.
And he came up there and he goes like, all right, Mike Tyson, why is he fighting all these young guys? And everyone was like, boo. Boo on stage. Like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, now you see how hard it is to get fucking like 40, like, you know, the whole fucking room of strangers to like one person.
Right.
And I was so shut the fuck up.
It's a gift, man. I will tell you that we probably don't see each other as much because we're all hustling and doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But at this point, bro, we're in a light of it's gonna be a co-headliner because I'll never have you featured for me. You're too funny. You understand? So you get to a point where fuck, man, I got, and we're all supposed to grow to that point where we're like, you know, we become our own brand. We become our own.
You can't hang with your friends on the road anymore.
Well, but I love when we do showcase and we get to be together. And you know, don't get me wrong, bro. You could call me. I'll host for you. I'll middle. Because that's how I get down.
Same here. I gotta know where you go.
It doesn't matter. I'm being facetious, but at the same time, the reality is game recognized game. And you put in work, boy. You a bad dude. You well respected amongst the community. Like motherfuckers know Carlos. And the other side of it is me and Sam was talking about the other day. These motherfuckers getting it, and you forget that people are growing and people are getting better. So what you saw 12 years ago ain't the same person.
Nah.
So don't be slipping on your pimping when you go perform and you got this cat that you thought was just a young gunner. And now that motherfucker's in your shoes.
He's been there he's banging. He's been in the gym.
And that's why I respect. So I have to watch. I always watch. I'm like, okay, now I know I got to go up there. I can't be fucking around because they coming.
Yeah.
You know, but it's in the stage time. You motherfuckers get up.
Yeah.
And it shows because there is no replacement for it. You know, I'm blessed and I can fake it.
Yeah.
But there is no replacement for getting up.
Stage, you know? Getting up because it's like if you play basketball or if you act, you can recite your lines all day,
right, and
get better, and then you go shoot the hoops at the gym. But it's like, but stand up, you need a stage and you need
that
people.
Muscle, bro.
Yeah,
the great Dale Van Dyke would tell us, get your ass up, man. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, do it. I love our fraternity, bro. I love fucking what we do.
Yeah,
and I love that I know you, bro. Like, and I know that we hit and miss, and I might see comics here and there, dog, but it's always like the first time. You know, it's never like time can go by, but you know, we may not even hit each other, but it's right back. I told
my girl that because she was like, you know, I go comedians for some reason. I I have a good group of friends as comedians, and I was like, it's a trip because like I won't see them maybe for 4 or 5 months, but as soon as I see them again, it's like, oh shit, it's like we just talked yesterday.
Yeah.
And I go, it picks up like that, and I go, it's a real interesting dichotomy of how, you know, we are in that space, especially when. You know, when you find like-minded people or people that you're interested in or like, you know, you gravitate towards and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just want to say, man, I love you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Well,
Thank you so much.
We family to the wheels fall off.